Alright, let me explain. Today we are playing Tamagotchi L.i.f.e on the iOS, or at least I'm playing it on the iPad. I'm not sure if this is on Android. Why am I playing this? Well, I kind of wanted to share with you guys what it was like to be a kid growing up in the 90s and relive my childhood with you a bit. This is not my first time I'm going to be playing this. I played this a few days back when my girlfriend convinced me to download it. I was like, yeah, what the heck not? You know, it's been, what, I haven't played this since 1997, 1998. The original Tamagotchis came out in 1997, which is when I played them, so I was about 9 years old, 10 years old when I was first playing with the Tamagotchis, and I was like, alright, I'll download it. Started raising the little guy. Oh man, the memories came back to me. What do you say we started up? Now, granted, I have not played this in a few days, so I've left my little Tamagotchi alone. I don't know what to expect. He's either left a pile of crap for me or... well, let's see. Oh. Well, apparently it died. So for those of you that don't know what Tamagotchi is, it's basically like a pet raising... It was a little toy that you'd carry around. It was like a keychain toy, and you would take care of your little pets. And if you didn't take care of them, they died, and you have to restart. And apparently this iOS version is like pretty accurate with that stuff. I mean, it's dead. I don't think there's any pausing time either. So I guess we have to restart. I left him for too long. Little angel is telling me he's dead. Reset will only apply to... yes. But you would take care of this little Tamagotchi. I'm actually going to do... now let's do Generation 1. That's what I was doing before. You feed them, you clean them, you play games with them, but playing games is not what you would expect. You have to just take care of them, and over time, if you take care of them for long enough, they'll grow and evolve into different Tamagotchi. Which one you get is random. So this is my little Tamagotchi right now. I'm just touching him on the screen. And let me just show you guys real fast. How do I find the manual again? Hold on. New. So the way they did this is actually fairly well done. Let's see, they can show you all the Tamagotchi that you've raised, and these are the different ones that you could end up with. They give you wallpapers. Nothing too crazy. So after you raise like a certain amount, it's basically like achievements, and you unlock stuff like different shells for your Tamagotchi. So you'd have to play this game quite obsessively to unlock everything. But that's not the point. Let's actually play Tamagotchi and show you guys what we played with back in the 90s if you're younger. I know I have a lot of younger viewers, so this is what we did for fun. Alright, so you can feed him. You give him a meal. Luckily, the iOS version actually lets you speed it up, so you don't have to sit here watching him eat. You can just... because this is how long he normally took. You can just touch on the screen, and it'll skip the process. So you feed him a few times, and then what you can do is you can check this, the scale on the bottom here. So, oops, had to touch it again. Okay, so he's completely full, so I don't have to feed him anymore, but he's not happy. So in order to raise his happiness gauge, we have to play with him. He's telling me he wants something. When that thing in the bottom right flashes, he's telling me he wants to play. So we're going to play rock, paper, scissors. So essentially, you want him to win to make him happy. If you win, it makes him sad. If you draw, it makes him happy. So what I usually do is I just keep selecting rock. When it blinks, that means you won. So I won that one. I won that one again. He's getting mad, as you can see in the top right. He won that one. I won that one. So because I won, it's not going to raise his happiness gauge. So you got to play with him again. And you just repeat this over and over until he wins a game of rock, paper, scissors, which he did, 4-1. And now if you check his happiness, you'll see that he has 1 heart. So you keep repeating that until he has 4 hearts. Now, if he left a crap on the screen here, you would wash it away, which they do poop. And let's see, you can talk. What is that? Oh, that's letting you know. Oh, that's disciplining him. So that's right. I remember reading in the manual. They had a representation of the manual in here. Let me just see if I can find it for you really fast. Options. Back. I have all notifications off, otherwise the Tamagotchi would be calling out to me, like telling me when it needs to be fed, when it needs to be put to sleep. Essentially, when you put this thing to sleep, it makes its own sleep schedule, if I remember right. So like, it decides when it wants to go to sleep, and when it goes to sleep, you have to turn the lights off. I'm not even kidding. And then you turn off your game. If you don't turn the lights off, the thing is gonna like grow up angry and turn into an alien or something if you don't raise it properly. So let's turn the lights back on. You give it this when it's... what do you give this for? you give it medicine when it's sick, so you usually sometimes have to inject it if it gets sick. Yeah, and that's basically Tamagotchi. I mean, you just have to obsessively care for this thing in hopes of eventually growing up. And when I had this as a kid, man, it was so hard to get that thing into its final form. I did it once, and I was so happy, and it was just so hard to ever do it again because you have to, you know, play with this thing, feed it, like, constantly. But it was so cool. The Tamagotchi, when they came out, it was a big hit with kids in the 90s, you know, my age. They were hard to find in stores for the official ones. There were a lot of knockoffs that came out, like I had one with a fish tank and raising a fish and everything. I mean, it was like the biggest thing. And I just thought it was really cool to kind of take a look back and see, because this is one for one. You can actually make it, gosh, I wish I could, oh, there we go. Okay, so this is like original mode. So this is the Tamagotchi itself. So you can actually play with the buttons, where you'd have to, right now I'm pressing the left button and you cycle through the options. The middle one is select, and then the right button is cancel. So you can play this thing like true to form using the original setup. I just prefer to use this version because it's a lot easier to do, and you can just touch the icons like this as opposed to using the buttons. But yeah, this is what we did for fun back then. I thought it was just kind of cool to mess around with this again. If you overfeed him, he gets like sick. This here actually tells you, I think 1 day in Earth time is 1 year, and I think they can live up to something like 20-something days or 30 days at the max or something like that. But if he ever wakes you, like if he ever discipline, these things would basically call you, like in the bottom right, they would call to you and say they want something. And if they weren't hungry, or if their happiness level was full, like basically if they're full and if they don't need to play anymore, and if they call to you, you're supposed to discipline them. So that's when you use the scolding option there. Crazy stuff. Anyway, it's kind of funny. I mean, I'm probably not going to play this long term, but I just thought it was kind of cool to pick up and play, and hopefully you guys got a kick out of this if you grew up in the 90s. Where is the manual, though? Gallery. I wish I could just, like, show you guys the manual, because it's kind of cool. They did, like, a full-on representation. Oh, maybe help? Ah, there we go. Okay. So this is kind of cool, actually. They warn you it's not going to be the same. But they go kind of all out with this. I mean, they give you a reproduction of the original manuals, like explaining to you how to play the game. I mean, so if you grew up in the 90s and, you know, you played with a Tamagotchi at some point in your life, you should download this, because I think it's kind of a cool blast from the past. You know, fun for a few minutes just to check it out. Anyway, guys, hopefully this, I don't know how many people, I don't know. Thanks for watching, that's all I can say. Tamagotchi Life. Check it out. Goodbye.